In this tutorial, you will learn how to double warp a frame loom with a Heddle bar. Now you might be wondering, what is a Heddle bar? A Heddle bar is used to make your weaving a little bit faster because it organizes the warp yarns and it helps you alternate between every row of weft. In the first phase of warping the loom, we're going to alternate between each groove of the Heddle bar. Now to get started, you will need some nice sturdy cotton yarn. It can be of any color or texture that you like. And then we're going to create a knot and secure it on this loom tab. Then you'll place the Heddle bar here in the middle in place. It should be able to kind of roll. And then you're going to guide the warp yarn through the first groove of the Heddle bar and around the first two tabs here. When you bring it back down, bring it to the third groove of the Heddle bar and bring it down here to the second tab at the bottom. Continue this pattern and make sure that you're the tab at the bottom and at the top of the loom, you're matching it, but then also that you're alternating between the grooves on the Heddle bar. Once you get to the end, you will just secure it with a knot. But as you're warping or dressing the loom, make sure that you're twisting the Heddle bar just to make sure that it's secured and in place. And you also want to be making sure you're checking the tension. After the first phase of warping or dressing the loom, I go back and I carefully examine each yarn, each warp end, and I'm just pulling on them. It's kind of like a pulley system. You know, you pull down on one and the other side goes up. And so I'm gathering the extra loose ends and I'm just moving it towards the end where I'm going to put a knot on the right side here. Once the yarns are secured and the tension is good, then I'm going to just secure the yarn with a knot here. I like to just wrap the yarn around the side of the loom and keep it secured. So as you can see here, every warp yarn is passed through the tabs and through every other groove on the Heddle bar. Now, if you really wanted to, you could stop right here and you wouldn't need the Heddle bar or to double warp. Now, the purpose of double warping this loom is so that you have a higher density of the yarn ends, which will help if you're using a thinner yarn or if you're trying to create a specific pattern. Now we'll begin phase 2, and in this time, after you have knotted and attached the yarn to the loom, you're going to now pass the yarn, the warp yarn, through every other groove of the Heddle bar that you didn't do the first time. So if in the first phase you did every other or every odd number groove, then this time you will just do every even groove. Similar to the first phase, at the end of phase 2, you want to make sure you secure the yarns and secure the tension. You want to go back and fix all the tension for each warp yarn and strand, and then you will make your final secured line or secured knot at the end of the warp. I like to just wrap it around again, and then you can check the Heddle bar. Yeah! If it's successful, as you can see here, when you turn the Heddle bar in one, it's opening the shed in one way, and then once you turn it the other way, it closes the first shed and opens another, which makes it so much easier and faster to weave.